Hello, students. Good morning. Vinita, Priyanka, Aishwarya. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Students, today we'll see the last class. Okay. One small concept is pending. Few widgets that I'll finish off today. Yes, few more widgets and graphic and object oriented GUI. So those are the two concepts which are pending. Today we'll see few more widgets. The students, as for so far we have seen how to create a text box, isn't it? So far we have used the entry class to create a text box, and the limitation of the text box is that we can create only one line text if you are using entry class. So what you want to do, if you want to have a text box with multiple lines, that is what we call as text area. So in HTML we call it as text area. So if you want to have a text area, then you have to use the text class. So this example illustrates how to implement text area. So here we call it as text box only. Here the text box with multiple lines. You can see here the description given. The entry widget that we have been using since the start of this chapter allows for only a single line of text. If you want multiple lines of text, then we have to use the text widget. Okay, so this is the text widget. So once again, the very first step is to import the tkinter. That means from tkinter import star. That means we are importing all the classes from tkinter module. Then look at here. So here we are creating. So 1 minute, I'll zoom it. Yes. Yes. So now you can see here. Here we are creating the window object first. Then we are creating a frame. Frame is equal to frame of window. So then frame dot pack. Then within the frame we are creating the text box. That is text is equal to text. So this capital text. This is T is capital here. This is the class name text of. So where we are creating not within the window. We are creating it within the frame. Students, this you need to remember. In case if we are creating the text box within the window, then here we specify window. So since here we are creating the text box within the frame, here I specify frame and height and width parameters. Then text dot back. Then after the text box, I'm going to create one button. Once again, that also not within the window, within the frame. So button is equal to button of text is equal to add. That means name of the button. Name of the button is add. Then command is equal to lambda. So lambda function works like an expression. Then name of the function that you are going to call is cross. So and then you are passing one parameter. What is that? Text. So what is the text here? See here we have created. So the text you have entered here, that's been passed as the parameter here. Then what this function will do? Cross function. Cross receives the text whatever that you have entered. Then text dot insert. Okay, it will insert. Okay, this is for insertion, and you are and give the name as x. So that means whatever here you type, that will be displayed. Okay, that's the function. Text provides a much richer set of methods than the other widgets we have seen so far. We can embed images in the text area, put in tags, select particular lines, and so. That means it is more flexible than. See here whatever he has given, like embedding the images in the text area. All such things cannot be done if you are using entry widget. Instead of entry widget, if you use text widget, you can do that. So in that sense, text widget is more useful for us. Then one more, it will look like this. See here you are entering, and it will be displayed like this. Then check button. Okay, one more widget is check button. So once again, same procedure, create the window, create a frame. Then see here we are going to create checkbox for three elements, that is colors, for three colors, red, green and blue. And I am setting the variables of type integer. So here these are all the mutable data types. What is int var here? It is a mutable data type. Once again, similarly for green and blue. And here I am taking the loop for name comma var. In here the name is red, then variable is, the name is r and variable is red. Similarly here, so name comma var refers to r comma red, that means r is name and variable is red. Similarly, g is name in the second iteration and green is variable, and in the third iteration b is the name and blue is the variable. Okay, so it will navigate through all these three variables in three iterations. So check is equal to check button. So instead of calling it as checkbox, here we call it as check button. In HTML we call it as checkbox, but in Python here we call that widget as check button widget. So where we are creating not within the window, instead we are creating it within the frame. Text is equal to name and variable is equal to var. Okay, so this is the first part. Text is equal to name and the second part variable is equal to var, so that it will take r comma red in the first iteration, g comma green in the second iteration and b comma blue in the third iteration. Then at the end, so 1 minute students, I think I have not shared the screen itself. You should tell me now students that the screen is not shared. Students, you can see here, first create the window, then the frame, then pack the frame, then take three variables and initialize them to mutable data types, that is int var. So this red, green and blue represents integer variables, and these are all mutable types. Okay, then put it in the for loop. So for name comma var, so here the first iteration r is the name and red is the var, that is the variable, and in the second iteration g is the name and green is the variable. Similarly in the third iteration. Therefore now check is equal to check button. So here instead of calling it as checkbox, here we call it as check button. Frame, text is equal to name and variable is equal to var. See here these two things, name comma var, here we are taking text is equal to name and variable is equal to var. Then what kind of justification you want? You want left justification, so therefore here mention while packing side is equal to left. Then look at here, here we have a label. We are creating a label. Label is equal to label of frame comma text is equal to some blank text. Okay, then button is equal to frame comma text is equal to update. So name of the button is update. Then command is equal to lambda of re color of label comma red, blue, green. So therefore it will come here. So it will come here. So label is received as widget. So RGB. Okay, first create one variable, color is equal to ash. Okay, for variable in RGB, color is equal to color plus F. See here, every color should start with hash symbol. So therefore already we have initialize color is equal to hash. Then here color is equal to color plus string. That means hash. So hash will be appended here. Appended, that means so the value this FF will be prefixed with hash. Okay, and this represents the hexadecimal value of some color. Hexadecimal value of the color. Then if variable dot get, that means if it has got some value, then set that color. Background is equal to that color. Else set default color, that is 0, 0, that will set 0, 0 sets the default background color. Then at the end we are packing the button, then packing the label, then ultimately window dot main loop. So students, I think we know why we use window dot main loop. So if you do not use window dot main loop, as soon as the output is displayed, it will immediately disappear. So if you use window dot main loop, it will wait until you press the close button. Until you press the close button, it will not disappear. So for that purpose, we use window dot main loop. Then next widget students, menu. How to create a menu? Here first here we are going to create a editor like this. So this is a sample editor which you are going to create. So here we have the file menu. Under file menu we have two options, save and quit. Okay, and once we press here save, it will open the widget, save as widget, where you are supposed to specify the file name. Then you have to press save. Then this quit is for quitting from the text editor. So here as usual, the first step is to import everything, all the classes from the tkinter. Then the second step is to implement the menu bar. See here we import one special class, that is import tk file dialog as dialog. That means here tk file dialog, it's a class, and we are creating one alias of that using as dialog. So the main code starts from here. First create a window, then create one text area within the window, then text dot pack, then create a menu bar. So menu bar is equal to menu is the name of the class which is used to create a menu. So where we are creating the menu within the window, so that is menu of window. Then file menu is equal to menu of menu bar. Okay, then we need to indicate that it is a file menu, so therefore file menu is equal to menu of menu bar. Then how to add save and quit as the options to that menu bar. So now just you look at this output. So it has to be displayed like this. So here we have the file menu. Under that we have two functionalities. One functionality is save, another functionality is quit. So now how to add it? Look at here. To add that we have add underscore command method. We have a method called add underscore command, that is file menu dot add underscore command of. So what is the first functionality that you want to create? I want to create the first functionality name as save. So therefore label is equal to save. Then upon clicking that save, it has to go to the save as option. So it has to create one more window, isn't it? Save as. For that I am calling a function. I am calling a lambda function by name save, and I am passing the parameters window and text. So it will go here. Okay, it will receive both parameters. So here we are receiving window as root and text as text. Okay, then data is equal to text dot get of. So get the value here 0, 0 means that, so that is the window default value. Okay, this is the default value. Okay, so you have to receive like this. While implementing the functionalities, you have to receive like this. Then file name is equal to dialog dot ask save as file name. So this is the method. This is the inbuilt method ask save as file name. So it is starting here. The method is starting here and it is ending here up to here. Okay, and the look at the parameters. Parent is equal to root. So parent is the attribute. Okay, so parent is equal to root. File types, supported file types. Okay, So this is the main type and this is the subtype. Okay, text. Okay, then star.text means any name you can give, and that should be .txt file, that is star.txt. So file types is text comma star.txt. Then window title should be save as. Okay, that means it has to open the save as dialog box. So hence we are giving title is equal to save as. See, by using this piece of code, actually what we are doing, we are actually going to create a dialog box, and the name of the dialog box is save as. That is, we are creating save as dialog box. Then we have to specify the file name, isn't it? We have to give the file name. So that's why writer is equal to open of file name comma w. That means open that file in write mode. Then writer dot write of data. Okay, that means you can write. So then write and close. That means here we are going to type the name of the file and we are going to close it. Then after that, what is the second one? Second functionality that we are going to add is quit label. That is file menu dot add underscore command of label is equal to quit. Command is equal to, this is the lambda function which works like an expression. Okay, so it will call a quit function. So quit function is been defined here. So the window is received as a dummy parameter here. So it is received as root dot destroy. So that means close the window. So close which window? Editor window. You can see here. So this is the editor window. Upon clicking this quit, it will close the editor window. Then the last step is, whenever we create a menu bar, we have to add this method, that is menu bar dot add underscore cascade label is equal to file. That means the meaning is that now we are adding save and quit. We are adding squared save and quit, which are two functionalities as part of file menu. So that is cascade method. That will be done by cascade method. That is add underscore cascade label is equal to file and menu is equal to file menu. So this is the file menu that we have created. Okay, file menu contains two labels, save and quit, and we are adding them to the menu bar. Name of the menu bar is file. Then window.config of menu is equal to menu bar. Okay. So what is the name that we have given to our menu? Menu bar. So menu is equal to menu bar window.main. So students, like this, we can create a simple editor. Okay. So for example, you may get an question like, write a Python program using tkinter module to create a simple text editor with at least two options, save and quit options. So then, okay, actually we are writing only two methods to implement, one for implementing save and one for implementing quit. Okay, all remaining piece of code is GUI code. Okay, so students, now say for example, you are talking about MVC pattern, isn't it? Model, view and controller. If you ask me to show, so what is the modeling part, what is the controller part, and what is the view part? So in this, see here, we have, see, this is the controller part. From here to here, this is controller part, because this code contains the core logic. Okay, this is the controller part. Then model part, where we are dealing with data. Okay, see here, we have not created any variables that will store any data. So therefore here there is no data part. And here the view part is, this whole thing is view part. That is, this whole part is responsible for creating graphical user interface. This is called as a view. Okay, So in case if you have used any variables like this in the previous example I will show you. So in this example here, this is part of the data modeling. So this is modeling modeling part, and this is for creating GUI. And once again, this portion is also from here to here. This is also GUI, and the controller part is, and this is the controller part. This is the controller part. The students like this, given the program, you must be able to identify the model view and controller components within any given program. Students, can you identify the model view and controller part in any given program? Hello? Maithili, Nilanjan, Savita? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Huh? So you should be able to identify model view and controller part of the code. See, model part means, so the code responsible for saving and retrieval of information, maybe from the database or retrieving from the list, dictionary, or anything like that, any data structure. Then view part means GUI, the code that you have written to display the widgets. So that is modeling part. Then controller part means the logic that you have written to implement the core logic. That is called as the controller part. Then the last concept is object oriented GUIs. Class. Okay, students here, just listen to this. So for the GUIs, whatever that we have built, so they are particularly not well structured. Most of the code to construct them has not been modularized in functions, and they have relied on global variables. We can get away with this for very small examples, but if we try to build larger applications this way, they will be difficult to understand and debug. See here in Python, that means students, most of the times we don't use object oriented approach to create GUIs because the code looks very awkward. It's just for your understanding, I'll show you one small example. So for this reason, almost all the real GUIs are built using classes and objects that tie models, view and controllers together in one tidy package. See now, whatever the small piece of code I shown just now, so it contains all the model, view and controller in one single program. So in one tidy small package. In the counter shown next, for example, the application's model is a member variable of a class counter. See here. Now I'll show you one example in that. The application's model is a member variable of class counter called self.state, and its controllers are methods upclick and quit, quit click. So consider the program here. Students, look at here. So this contains main method. If name double underscore is equal to main, that means the program has to start from here. So we are creating the window object first, then creating. See here, my app is equal to counter of window. That means see here we have specified the model is a member variable of the class counter. Okay, so the member variable is a, so we have a class counter. So therefore here the counter is the class. Then So now students, look at here. We have a class counter. So it will invoke the class counter. Upon execution of this instruction, see, I'm creating my app object. So now it should invoke the counter class which is defined above. So here we have a counter class, a simple counter GUI using object oriented programming. That's the comment. Okay, first we have the init method. So this will be called implicitly, okay, to create a GUI. And here we use the self object. We know that just like how we use the this object in C++, similarly here we use self self dot parent is equal to parent, self dot frame is equal to frame. So where we are creating in the parent we are creating the frame. So that means in the window we are creating the frame. Then self dot frame dot back. Then self dot state is equal to, see, this is the, see, we are creating a variable and we are setting its value. So to create a variable, self dot state, and the data type is int var, and to set its value we are using set method, and the value is 1. Self dot state dot set. Then label, displaying current state. How to display the current state? Self dot label is equal to label of self dot frame, text variable is equal to self dot state. See students, if you observe, see, the code looks awkward, isn't it? See, in case if you are not using object oriented programming, how you would have written this statement? You would have written label is equal to label of frame comma text variable is equal to state. See here, unnecessarily we are using self here and here and also here. So that means you need to remember how we need to write the code when we are using object oriented programming. So even though, okay, it looks very structured, but the code looks very awkward. Okay, unnecessarily we have to use this self object. Even you can see here, to pack the label we have to specify self dot label dot pack. Then here we are creating the buttons to control the application. Self dot up is equal to name of the button is up, button of self dot frame, text is equal to up, command is equal to self dot up click. So that means here we need to check where we have implemented this up click method. So up click method is implemented here. So self dot state dot set, and the value is incremented by 1. So the default value is already we have set 1. So once if you click, it will become 1 plus 1 2. If you click once again, it becomes 3. So that's the purpose of up click. Then similarly we have created one more button, that is quit button. Okay, so upon pressing that quit button, it has to close the entire window. So for that we have a method quit click, which is implemented here. Self dot parent dot destroy. See, in the previous example, just to close the window, what we have written parent dot destroy here, isn't it? But here it is prefixed with self object, that is self dot parent dot destroy. So that means in this program, actually what we are doing, we are going to create two buttons. So one button is up. Upon clicking that button, it has to increment the count by one number. Then another button is quit button. Upon clicking that quit button, it has to close the entire window. So hence we have written two methods. Okay. And the program execution always begins from here because it contains the main method. So this is called as the main method. This is the main method. So first it will create the window object, then it will invoke the counter class. So when it invokes the counter class, the program execution starts from here. Okay, and this is the init method. Init method is called as the default method. So it will start from here. See, if you observe here, we are creating an object of counter, and the name of the object is my app. So therefore, it has to call some method. So which method? The default method. The default method is the init method. So this init method will be called here. That's all, students. With this, we have completed the syllabus. So summary: most modern programs provide a graphical user interface for displaying information and interacting with the users. GUIs are built out of widgets such as buttons, sliders, text panels, etc. All modern programming languages provide at least one GUI toolkit. So one such GUI toolkit is tkinter. Unlike command line programs, GUI programs are usually event driven. So event driven means, say for example, so you have created a widget. Say for example, upon clicking that button, it will take some action. So that is called as event driven programming. In other words, they react to events such as keystrokes and mouse clicks. Then experience shows that GUI should be built using model view controller pattern. So students, you need to understand what is the advantage of using model view controller. See, the moment you apply that model view controller, that means you are very clearly distinguishing. So this piece of code is for modeling part, this piece of code is for controller part, and this piece of code is for creating the GUI, that is the view part. So that's the advantage always. Okay. Say for example, if any error occurs with respect to GUI, then you can look at only that piece of code, that is view portion. If the logic is not working, then you can see only the controller part. So that is the advantage when you use MEC pattern. Then lambda expressions create functions that have no names. So that means, got here, lambda expressions create functions that have no names. These are often used to define the actions that widget should take when user provide input. So when the user provides some input, some action is to be taken. In such instances, we can use lambda functions. Then designing usable GUIs is a challenging a craft as designing software. That means it is a challenging to create or to design some GUIs, okay, which are very much usable. That means user friendly GUI. So being good at the latter doesn't guarantee that you can do the former, but dozens of good books can help you get started. That means there are a lot of books available using which you can learn creating very good GUIs. Okay, that's the conclusion. Through this, we are finishing the whole syllabus, students. So now we have completed all the 5 modules. Wait, I'll take the attendance. Students, it is giving some error, so I'm not able to take the attendance. 1 minute, I'll do one thing. Okay, tell your names. I'll call your names. You just answer for the attendance. Lesson number 1,
Present, sir.
2,
Present, sir.
3,
Present, sir.
4, 5,
Present, sir.
6, 7,
Present, sir.
8,
Present, sir.
9,
Present, sir.
10,